Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video. And today's video, this is going to be the Myth-Busting Mondays Christmas special for 2025. It's a little bit early, but I thought that, hey, why not end up including one more Christmas special before we wrap up the series with episode 200 next week. And for today's video, for the final myth, we're going to be testing to see if whether or not that if you can play Left 4 Dead on the Xbox copy with the old Guitar Hero controllers that used to release in those bundles back in the day. These controllers used to be very practical for playing Guitar Hero, but can you actually use them in something like Left 4 Dead and be able to do things like run and shoot? If you end up enjoying today's video, please drop a like and subscribe if you are new, and if you also have a myth that you would like to be featured in next week's episode, episode 200, then please leave it here within the comments down below, or also alternatively, you can leave it within my Discord server, which is going to be linked down below in this video's description. All that being said, guys, I hope you end up enjoying seeing the Left 4 Dead 2 Myth-Busting Mondays Christmas Special for 2025. Myth: can a tank reset its anger meter by attacking other infected? Alrighty guys, the first myth is submitted in by Nuketown 2015. Now when we first tried to do this, and this was a freak coincidence, it looked like it was confirmed at first, and the reason why is because around the time I was killing infected, my rage meter or my tank meter had just frozen. Now when we did this a second time and I was killing things, the tank's rage meter continually went down as normal. So what was the difference? The difference is that in the first test, I was far enough away from the survivors that the game decided to pause it, and then the second time I was actually closer to them and it made it tick down per normal. So the difference was actually me just being close enough to everybody else, which I thought was interesting because the way that the timing went there for a second, I genuinely thought that this actually worked. So this means that the first myth is busted, or coal in this case, since this is the Christmas special. So now let's move on to myth number 2. Myth: will in-game sprays distract bots/AI? Alrighty guys, the second myth is submitted by QB0516. So we started this test off with a bot Nick and had him try to heal me while I was spraying sprays everywhere on the floor alongside Dan and Tacky, and this didn't stop him from healing me. We also tried to see if whether or not that putting sprays in front of the bots would mess up their pathing when they're trying to follow us, and this did nothing to. And in case you want to see if whether or not this affected the special infected at all, we tested them as well. We just sprayed things on the floor right in front of them as they were going to do their main attacks on us, and this didn't mess them up. They continued to attack as normal. We even also tried to have them chase us and see if they would go around the sprays or get stuck on them for whatever reason, and nothing changed there either. So the myth is busted, or coal once again. The special infected bots and the survivor bots do not get affected by in-game sprays. Myth: is Rochelle the only survivor in the Left 4 Dead 2 crew that has trigger finger discipline? Alrighty guys, the third myth is submitted in by Vader. So the first survivor we're going to be looking at is Ellis, and you can clearly see that his finger is on the trigger. Next is going to be Nick, and Nick also has his finger on the trigger. Then after Nick, we're going to be moving over to my guy Coach, and Coach, just like the other two, has his finger on the trigger. Now if we look at Rochelle though, and this is very subtle, she doesn't have her finger on the trigger. It's actually behind the trigger. This is a detail I have never noticed up until this point. This is actually really cool. So this is going to mean that the third myth is confirmed, or present in this case. And now let's move on to myth number 4. Myth: can you in-cap the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors on the passing with a car? Alrighty guys, the fourth myth is submitted by Rigamortem, and I don't believe that this is a repeat, so no need to worry about that, my friend. Now, what we're going to do for this myth, just to make it a little bit easier, is instead of trying to have a tank hit a car and get lucky, I'm instead just going to spawn cars on top of the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors and just see if it does anything. Funnily enough, of all the ways we've tried to kill these guys, I'm surprised that we have not tried a car specifically yet. Alright, so let's spawn in some cars. Now, when I first spawned them in, they don't end up killing the Left 4 Dead 1 crew, they instead kill the Left 4 Dead 2 crew. They in-cap Rochelle and Coach. When I spawn in cars on the Left 4 Dead 1 crew, all it's doing is just making them move in really weird ways, but they're not dying and they're not even acknowledging that the cars even exist. So this is going to mean that the fourth myth is busted. The Left 4 Dead 1 crew cannot be in-capped by cars. They barely even react to them. Myth: can you play the Xbox version of Left 4 Dead 2 with the Guitar Hero controller? Alrighty guys, the last myth of today's episode is going to be submitted by Dr. Zed, aka Dan. Now, first of all, this was a pain in the ass to film, and second of all, I do understand that hypothetically you could make this work on the PC copy with button mapping and adapters, but I want to see if just the stock guitar controller would work on an Xbox 360. And so far, at the very least, it does acknowledge inputs and can at least get the game started. Oh, by the way, completely irrelevant, but what do you think of my Christmas tree? Does it look nice? I think it looks nice. Now, first things first, can you even start a game with this controller? And the answer, believe it or not, is actually yes, but it is clunky as fuck to do this, because you have to use the D-pad on the controller, and even then, it sometimes doesn't accept your inputs because this controller has motion controls, and slightly moving it will make it so that way your cursor will go in a completely different direction, and you have to start all over, which is a pain in the ass. But now to answer the question you've all been patiently waiting for an answer for, and that is going to be, can you play a legitimate game of Left 4 Dead with this peripheral? Unbelievably so. The answer is yes, but it's absolutely terrible. Using this controller resulted in my character getting stuck in place in the spawn, spinning around, shooting at the sky, and doing nothing besides occasionally shoving, turning on the flashlight, and stuff like that. But playing a legitimate game, like where you're running around and trying to actually complete tasks, that's not physically possible with this controller. The reason why this is the case is because you can't walk with the D-pad, and you shoot by using the controller's motion controls by physically shaking the guitar in different directions. The only buttons that worked consistently were the flashlight button on the D-pad, and then the start and the back button to navigate things like the menu, but that is basically it. Once you get into a physical game, you literally cannot defend yourself with this controller. Despite this controller being absolute dog water, though, the myth is still nonetheless confirmed because it at least acknowledges it. The inputs register, and it does allow you to do things like shoot and shove and use some equipment, but you can't walk. You can't look anywhere else besides the skies. The best way to describe using this controller is like when we first played video games as children, and we didn't know how to use them at first, and we just had to figure it out the old-fashioned way. So Xbox players, next time that you get a teammate who's doing nothing and just sitting in the spawn, they very well might be using a Guitar Hero controller. Alrighty guys, but that's going to be here for today's video, and I do truly hope you all ended up enjoying. If you did, please consider dropping a like, and subscribe if you are new. And if you have a myth of your very own that you would like to have be featured in next week's episode, please by all means leave it here within the comments down below. Or also alternatively, you can leave within my Discord server, which is going to be linked down below in this video's description. As we wrap up the video, please consider checking out my second YouTube channel, Black Ninja 797 Extras. Please also consider using my supporter creator code, Black Ninja 797 in the Fortnite and Epic Games item shops. Thank you, Epic, for being my first ever sponsor. And thank you to all channel members for supporting my channel, because without you guys, these videos would just simply not be possible. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you to every single one of you. For channel members, I'll be making dedicated sleep videos along with a multitude of other perks as well. If this is something that interests you, I will provide a link down below in this video's description. All that being said, guys, I hope you ended up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTuber you guys are ever going to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I love all of you. And peace out.
Hey, meme lords, Jesus here, and you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too, and give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!